Hello, hopefully you're doing well today. Today our goal is to solve equations with variables on both sides. Our objective is to be able to solve equations involving grouping symbols and with variables on each side of an equation. The steps that we have to follow in order to be able to solve an equation are as follows. Step 1 is to simplify using the distributive property. Step 2 is to add up any like terms. Step 3 is to make sure your variable is only on one side of the equation. Step 4 is to isolate using addition or subtraction. And our final step is to isolate using multiplication or division. At this point, if you need more time to copy this down, I suggest you pause the video and you'll be able to copy down the steps. Let's go ahead and look at a couple examples here. So let's first draw a line right down our equal sign. Okay. And the first thing that I want to do is ask myself, do I have any grouping symbols? No, I do not. Do I have any like terms that I can combine? No, I do not. So what I always like to do is move all of my variables onto one side of my equation. I prefer to do it onto the left side. So to do that, I need to get rid of that 8p. So I'm going to subtract 8p on both sides. Once I do that, I get negative 2 on the left side. 10p minus 8p is a positive 2p. And on the right side, that equals negative 1. Next up, I am going to move that negative 2 over. So the opposite of a negative 2 is positive 2. So I'm left with 2p. Negative 1 plus 2 is going to be 1. Now I have 2p equals 1. So my final step is going to be to divide both sides by 2. Once I do that, I'm left with p equals 1/2. And that's my final answer. Let's look at our next example here. So the first thing I like to do is draw a line right down my equal sign. After I do that, on this problem, I do have grouping symbols, so I need to actually distribute this 2 here. So I'll have 2r plus 2 minus 5 equals 3r minus 2. On the left side of my equation, I have like terms. I have a 2 and a negative 5. So I need to combine those. So I have 2r minus 3 equals 3r minus 2. Now, I told you before, I do like to move my variables all to one side of my equation. So I want to get all of my r's onto the left side. So the opposite of positive 3r is minus 3r. On the left side, I'm left with negative 1r minus 3 equals negative 2. Next up, I'm going to add 3 on both sides. I'm left with negative 1r equals positive 1. My very final step is to divide both sides by negative 1. And I'm left with r equals negative 1. Let's go ahead and look at another example here. So I like to draw a line right down my equal sign. My first step, I do have grouping symbols, so I need to distribute that 5 So I'm left with m plus 5 equals 5m minus 35 minus 3m. Now, I have a 5m and a negative 3m. Those are like terms, so I need to combine them. So on the left side, I'm left with m plus 5. 5m's minus 3m's is 2m's minus 35. I'm going to subtract 2m on both sides here. That leaves me with negative 1m plus 5, and on the right side, I'm left with negative 35. I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. My final step is to divide by negative 1. And my final answer is m equals 40. This problem says if f of x equals 2x plus 9, or 2 parentheses x plus 9, and g of x equals 3 parentheses x minus 8, find the value of x when f of x equals g of x. So I know that I want f of x to be equal to g of x. And if we look, I know that f of x is actually equal to 2x plus 9. So I can actually write that left side right there. I know my g of x is actually 3 parentheses x minus 8. So I'm going to write that over here. Now I just have to solve that equation out, and I will have my answer. So I'm going to draw a line right down my equal sign. I'm going to start. I have a 2 that I can distribute there. I also have a 3 that I can distribute there. So I get 2x plus 18 equals 3x minus 24. I'm going to move all my variables over to one side, so I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. Left with negative 1x plus 18 equals negative 24. Going to subtract 18 on both sides. Left with negative 1x. Negative 24 minus 18 is going to be negative 42. Divide both sides by negative 1. And I'm left with x equals 42. Let's look at our next problem. It says write an equation and solve for the missing variable. It says a hairdresser is considering ordering a certain shampoo. Company A charges $4 per bottle plus a $10 handling fee per order. Company B charges $3 per bottle plus a $25 handling fee per order. How many bottles must the hairdresser buy to justify using Company B? So the first thing I want to do is I'm actually going to write two equations here. I know that Company A is $4 per bottle plus a $10 handling fee. So I know that Company A is $4 per bottle, so we'll call that B, plus a $10 fee. Company B is $3 per bottle plus a $25 fee. Now, just like last problem, I want to figure out how many bottles must we buy for them to be equal? That basically means when is company B going to be better? So I know that I want to figure out when A is equal to B. Now remember, A is also equal to 4B plus 10. B is also equal to 3B plus 25. Now, just like on the last problem, I'm going to go ahead and solve that out, and I should have my final answer. So I'm going to move my B's over to the left side, so I'm going to subtract 3B. I'm left with 1B, or just B, plus 10 equals 25. I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides. Left with B equals 15. So when will company B be better? After 15 bottles. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our next example here. It says one telephone company charges $16.95 per month and 5 cents per minute for local calls. Another company charges $22.95 per month and 2 cents per minute for local calls. For what number of local calls per month is the cost of the plans the same? So we're going to do the same exact thing on this problem. So we'll call this company A. Then we'll say A is $16.95 per month plus 5 cents a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed that up. We'll erase this here. It is, I did that the wrong way, so I apologize. It is 5 cents a minute plus $16.95 per month. The other way it would have been $16.95 per minute. That would not have been good. Company B is 2 cents per minute plus $22.95 per month. And we want to figure out when company A equals company B. So company A, we can replace that with 0.05 per minute plus $16.95. Company B, we can say it's 0.02 per minute plus $22.95. So let's go ahead and draw a line down our equal sign and solve this thing out. So the first thing I like to do is move all my variables over to the left side. So to do that, I'm going to subtract 0.02m. When I do that, I'm left with 0.0, whoops. My colors are not behaving right now. There we go. 0.03m plus 16.95. And over here, I'm left with 22.95. My next step, I'm going to subtract 16.95 on both sides. Okay. When I do that, I'm left with 0.03m equals, and 22.95 minus 16.95 can be done fairly easily using our calculator. and we come up with an answer of 6. So our final step is going to be to divide both sides by 0.03. On the left side, we get m. So 6 divided by 0.03. And we get 200. So if you are going to be talking for 200 minutes, the plans will be equal. That is it for today. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.